So Darth Maul stays. That's if we're starting from
Darth
scratch.
Maul stays. Darth Maul is the only character.
That
That's
that
it.
that lives.
We're
Okay.
just having it's just Darth Maul the movie.
Okay. So here, let's. I've got like a loose plot line. If I was to like start at
Mm-hmm.
episode 1, because instead of starting at episode 5, which was technically
Four.
done, or 4, yeah, with A New Hope. Like if you were to start at episode 1, you're like, okay, like I want a story about a space warrior who's got a laser
Yeah.
sword who encounters freak show aliens on different freak show worlds, and he zips around using this, and he's got a little robot sidekick. Like how do you start that story? I think there's a lot of stuff that doesn't need to get tossed wholesale for the original Star Wars story. Even like if we were starting at the Phantom Menace, like say episode 1, the Phantom Menace, that's where the whole series, everything starts from. Like this was
Yeah.
all pre-planned and everything, that this was going to be a giant story. And you start
Yeah.
with your Anakin Skywalker. The way that I would open up the movie, because in the original one it starts with Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon on the ship, and they're landing on the Trade Federation ship to do some negotiations. With this one, I would say just like cut all that. They're already getting chased. Like Naboo's already been invaded. They're already being chased.
Yeah.
You do like the big title crawl at the front, like Star Wars, and then the big bah, and then you have the big title crawl, blah 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 blah, and then it tells you like the little synopsis, and then you just see like a little like a big spaceship, not a little, a big spaceship, just goes zooming by, and then you see like a bunch of little ones following it, and you see like a black one that's just like a big evil
Big
one.
spaceship.
Yeah, not,
Yeah.
not not even like a big one, just like one that's like shooting lasers at the little ones, and the little ones are trying to like almost like evade and like be distractions for the big ship. You cut to the inside of the big ship, and it's Obi-Wan. He's piloting the ship there, and he's like trying to like he's like talking. He's like, no, we can't shake him or whatever. It's like, okay, it builds a little suspense. Like just you start in the middle of something in media res, just already there's a battle going on. You're like, what's going on? And so you have this black ship that's following. It's just like dodging and weaving and just like shooting down these other ships, and like everyone's just getting just blasted, and this big ship's trying to get away. And finally Obi-Wan's like it's like, Master, I need you to take over. Like they're getting slaughtered out there, or whatever. And it's like, so Qui-Gon just like sits down. He's old. He's really old in this one, and so he's just trying to fly away. Obi-Wan like dips down into one of the little fighters, peels off from the big ship, is trying to like dogfight with this other like black ship. And you cut to the inside of the cockpit, and it's just like dark. There's like this like flight mask, and you can't really see who's in there. And he's just like dodging around and like shooting, blasting other ships. And then finally, like Qui-Gon gets a lock on a planet. It's like this is the only like habited planet that's within like a whatever billion light years, whatever. Like we have to make the jump, and so he sends the coordinates to Obi-Wan, and then the big ship jumps away, and now it's just Obi-Wan and this other ship just kind of like fighting in space. And Obi-Wan's like flipping around. He's doing all these maneuvers that the other ships can't do because he's got the Force. We don't know that just yet.
Yeah.
We just think he's a
Yeah.
kick-ass pilot. But this other guy, this other black ship, is just like while he's like fighting Obi-Wan's just shooting down these other ships. It's like, okay, like clearly like the black ship is like better than these other ones. These other people can't keep up. And so Obi-Wan like does a sick maneuver, like shoots a wing off or whatever, and then just makes the break, just goes away, just flies off to light speed. And then you cut to the inside of the black ship, and it's like you can't see. You see like the mask come down, and then you like a little like hologram pop up of like you can't really see what like the signals may be broken or whatever. The camera cuts it off, so you can't tell. And it's like someone tells like, you must follow them to wherever I found where they're going. You must get your ship repaired first though, because whatever happens. And then like this bigger ship shows up, and then like you see the little ship go to this big ship, and so it can get repairs or whatever. And then you cut to now we cut to Tatooine, and we go to Anakin, who's not a little
Yeah.
boy. I don't think it should be a little boy.
I also don't think it should be a little boy. I also there's always like this trope where it's like, oh, we found the chosen one randomly and he's like a slave. I
Yeah,
don't even think it has to be that. Like it can be like I'm
it can be
sure in
just
this
some guy.
galaxy of trillions and trillions of people, there will be some gifted people who are good at doing stuff, and
Hmm.
it's not quite sure why. Like I know for Star Wars, your like force sensitivity comes from the midichlorians in your blood or whatever
Oh,
they're called.
I
Something like
wouldn't
that.
bring that back. The midichlorians, the
Yeah.
microscopic organisms that give you force powers. Just make it weird
I,
space magic. Don't explain
just
it.
make it some people have it, some people don't.
Some people are
Sometimes you get a
telekinetic.
space magic. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
exactly. So
doesn't need to be.
sometimes you get, but I think like it should just be like he was just like a remarkable person on said planet. Like he is it doesn't have to be. Yeah, like I said, I don't like that he's like some slave. It's like, oh my God, I can't believe we found the chosen one here.
Exactly. Yeah. Of all places, it was destiny to find him. I was
Oh,
like, the
yeah,
force moves in mysterious ways, and everyone does the
yeah, I'm
sign of
sure
the
it
cross.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, like when we get to Tatooine, we have Anakin who's like 19, 20, maybe like 18, but
Yeah,
he's like he's grown
old
up,
enough to know.
old
Yeah,
enough to know, and he's like obviously we don't want things to be going great for him. We want things to suck a little bit, to build a little
yeah,
sympathy for him. So he doesn't have to be a slave, but he can still be like poor or destitute or like life is hard for him. And we
yeah.
see him in like a scrapyard or whatever, like not necessarily at like Watto's. I don't know if we want to bring back the horrible
We want to bring back the
caricature of,
horrible
yeah,
character of
the racial
Watto.
stereotype. Yeah, we don't we don't need to keep him. But he's there, and he's there with like his like mom, and he's got like a girlfriend or something. He's got some friends, and they're all coming together to like build a spaceship. They all want to get off world is their big thing,
Yeah,
and that's kind of the thing they're talking about. But because Tatooine's like rough, you can still have like the gangsters and the Huts and whatever. They're like shaking him down for money or whatever, and like that's the hardest thing about him getting off is like he actually can't like everything about his ship is ready to go, but he doesn't have an engine to actually run the thing that has like the
yeah.
faster than light travel, so he can't actually like get anywhere. And every time he like saves enough money to get one, like or like a ship come that lands here, like to sell for parts, like he can never afford it or whatever. Like, there's always something keeping him down. But he knows that one day he's gonna get off here, and then he's a little bit of story building with him and his life at home. His mom, what he does for work. He repairs ships. He competes in like the pod. Like pod racing can be a part of it, but it's not like a
Pod
huge.
racing, dude. I want to keep pod racing. I like
I
pod
think pod
racing.
racing should stay, but it's not like going to be like a huge plot point. Like it's in there, and like
Yeah,
we can see that like maybe he like maybe that's what it opens up with. Like we see it cuts to this
he could
pod
be like a
races.
pod racing mechanic or something.
Not even or maybe a mechanic. Actually, that would be pretty good too, because then it's like oh
Something
he's like
that
one
just
peg
like
lower.
that's how he's making money, and that's how he's like slowly buying parts for his ship is by repairing other people's stuff. Maybe
Yeah,
he's a
yeah.
little scoundrel. Maybe he's like stealing parts off of the
And maybe
while he
make him a
repairs
little,
the.
make him a bit of a bad boy too. And like when he gets
Yeah,
home, and his mom and his girlfriend are like, "Where did you get these?" I was like, "Oh, don't worry about it."
don't worry
He's
about it.
yeah. I think
Everything's survive.
I do like that idea better that he steals a little bit, and give him a little bit of a darker
Give him a
side,
little bit of dark
a
side.
little of an
Yeah,
edge,
we've got to
yeah,
transition him to Darth Vader at some point,
yeah.
right? And like, if we're going to, he needs some early signs.
What I think that will do a good job of setting up is that he is someone who's willing to do something that is morally wrong for the greater good. He's like, I'm willing to like
Exactly.
steal. Like these people have enough; they're not using these parts, but like this is gonna help me out more than it's gonna help them out, and it's not hurting them or whatnot. So that's where he starts to kind of like blur the line a little bit.
Yeah.
And then we'll say, yeah, what that would be a fun like fake out. Like we keep cutting back to like this pilot or whatever that's in the race, but then like something one of his parts blows or he gets hit by another pod racer and he spins out and now he's back at the pit shop and we think he's gonna be like the protagonist here, and then he's totally like just berating Anakin. He's like, oh, what the fuck is this? You fucked up my ship, blah blah blah. I could have won that
Yeah.
race. And the camera just holds on him for a little bit, and then it moves back to Anakin, and then we just hold on Anakin, and then it's his story. So it's like a little bit of fake out there. And then Anakin's like fixing it up and whatever, and then maybe there's a sponsor for the race or whatever for this specific pod racer, and maybe Anakin's also a really good pilot as well, but like he's not allowed to because it's not a ship. Doesn't have the sponsorship or whatever, and maybe that can be like something that's tied into later. For him winning a pod race, like he gets put in as a substitute. But the main thing for when we kind of like link the stories back up is like as Anakin's getting like shaken down, like maybe because his eraser didn't win the money, now like he gets beat up by these thugs or whatever because he was supposed to a part of the winnings was supposed to pay off these like loan sharks or whatever. And so he's getting beat up and he starts fighting back and he does pretty good because we as the audience don't know it, but he's force sensitive, so he's actually doing pretty good. He's like dodging
Yeah.
these punches and stuff like that, but it's too many people, he can't keep up, so he just gets dogpiled. And then these two figures show up and they start like beating up these other guys and telling them like to get lost or whatever. And Obi-Wan, it's Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon because he's an old man, isn't fighting. He's just like using Jedi mind tricks on people. But Obi-Wan, he's a young gun, he's a loose cannon, he's just in there just throwing
Yeah,
punches as well, and just like
beating the brakes off
he's
of
just
people.
brawling. Yeah, he's just brawling. I want him to be a little bit like closer in age, Obi-Wan and Anakin, to be like around the same age, like within a couple years of each other.
Yeah.
So it kind of like builds a little bit more of that like brothership, or that brotherhood. Yeah, brotherhood.
There's something too, like I know that the Jedi don't take like in the story as it is now, they don't take Padawans unless they are
Like babies or
like
whatever.
below a certain they have to
Yeah,
be young. They
toddlers.
have to be like 10 years old.
Hmm.
Then they have
Hmm.
to start displaying some kinds of force sensitivity.
Hmm.
And while that makes sense for their story, I don't think it makes sense overall. Like when somebody joins any kind of fighting force or military or anything nowadays, or like in modern society, you're like 21, right?
Yeah.
You're not joining up when you're 10, and
Hmm.
they're not like grooming you as a child to become a super soldier. I mean, there probably are places that are doing that, I'm
Yeah.
sure,
Right.
but you don't want like I think it makes Star Wars seem like they're raising child soldiers almost
A little bit. I do
from
agree.
a young age, and it just doesn't really make that much sense to me because the kids wouldn't. I feel like they wouldn't be able to focus or learn. Like,
Oh God, no. Have you seen kids?
dude, have you seen me? I'm 30 and I can't do anything.
Yeah. No, I feel that. But I think, and also from like a little bit of a, I guess, world building perspective for Star Wars, like it's really just like the one big Jedi temple on Coruscant. I feel like every planet should have like a Jedi temple. Like it's a little bit more like a
Yeah,
church, or like they have like missions and there's like churches in different parts of the galaxy and whatever. So like if you're a Force sensitive user, just come here and we'll train you, or stuff like that. And
absolutely.
they still have people that like go out and like look for people. Like if they don't have like temples on certain planets, they'll send like people to like kind of like do laps or whatever and be like, if there's anyone Force sensitive, like just bring them back here so we can train them, and they kind of like do stuff like that. And so, but like Tatooine's kind of like outside of their area or whatever. Like they don't really send people to this
Yeah,
area because like there's just maybe the thing is like, oh, there's never been a Force sensitive user there. Whatever, it doesn't matter. It's not a big deal. Even if there were other Force sensitive users, it doesn't matter. And yeah,
I like that. I think having like a whole bunch of different temples like just dotted around on all these like major planets makes a lot of sense, and
yeah,
like
and
turning the Jedi less into like this like secret little gang basically that allies with the other little gangs or rebels to try and take down the big bad. They could be more of a larger force. Like they could be like a type of religion, almost like a church.
and they have like there's actually like a whole planet that's just like all Jedi.
Just the
Like,
Jedi planet.
yeah, this should. I mean, that would make sense to me if you have like this like what is this? Like pretty much like a holy order of knights, really.
Yeah, basically
Yeah,
Crusaders.
yeah. You're pretty much just like a bunch of crusaders. If they had like a home planet that was like extra force sensitive or whatever, they just whatever. It doesn't matter. We're cutting back to yeah. So Obi-Wan just gets in the fight and starts saying to him, it's like, "Hey man, are you all right?" And Anakin's like, like, thanks for jumping in there, stuff like that. And Qui-Gon, because he's an older guy, like he can sense that Anakin, there's something about this kid, you know. So it's like, So
He can tell he's force sensitive right away.
yeah, Obi-Wan can't. Like it's, I feel like the way that they've kind of done like, I guess the power scaling for the Force, they kind of just there's no rules almost to what you can do with it. It's just like,
Mhm.
oh, it does whatever you want it to do, which I think is kind of lame. It should have some.
Force works in mysterious ways.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. But where were we? Yeah, so the ship, the big ship, the two of them start talking. Like, oh, it's rough around. Like Anakin tells us, this is a rough neighborhood. You guys, shouldn't be on your own. Like, where are you trying to get to? I'll help you out as thanks for saving me from these guys. And so they're being kind of secretive about like, oh, we're just here for some repairs or whatever for our ship. It was damaged by an asteroid belt or whatever. And Anakin's, well, hey, I'm a mechanic. I'll help you guys out here. I'll return the favor here. Like, show me your ship. And so he goes there and like he sees like he can tell there's like blaster scorch marks and he's like, oh, some
Yeah,
asteroids or whatever.
clearly.
Yeah. And
Yeah, top
then
asteroids.
and he's like looking around at the ship and he like tells him straight, I was like, listen, like this thing's not gonna, like I can do what I can, but like you're gonna be grounded for a while. Like no one on this planet's gonna be able to get this going in a week. Like there's too much of like these other like so many smaller things. Like the inside's all fine, but like everything else you need to get like off planet is scorched, and like matching parts or things gonna work. Like there's nothing on planet right now that's gonna help you out, so you're gonna have to wait.
Yeah,
And they're like, oh, we can't wait because this guy is behind us.
they're coming.
Yeah. And then so he's like, well, you're in luck actually. Like I've got like a transport that I'm looking to get off planet here, and like the engine that you guys have like will fit in my ship. Like I can make it work, and it's the engine that he needs. So like this is my chance. And so the Jedi are like, well, we don't know about that. Like it's pretty risky because like we don't know what your ship is like. We don't really know you. We don't trust you. Blah blah blah. And so he's like, okay, well, like or I guess we'll talk about it, like because like the Jedi are like, well, we need to think about it because they don't really have any options to get off planet right now if this is the case. And so They're all there, and like maybe the queen was with them or whatever, because they still want to have the princess or whatever as the potential love angle. Even though Anakin's got a girlfriend right now on his home planet, she's gonna
There
die.
needs to be
So
some kind of disaster. Yeah, there needs to be
yes,
some kind of disaster. Anakin has to have everything taken from him right
exactly,
now.
exactly. You're
He
exactly
has to
right.
have no choice but to leave. Like
Exactly.
I say, if we're starting from scratch, the dude who's chasing them, whoever you've thought it up to be,
Darth Maul. It's
that
just
dude
Darth
is
Maul.
coming in. It's Darth Maul.
It's got to
He's
be.
coming in, and he's just absolutely lamping Anakin and everybody,
Yes.
everyone in his family.
Yes.
All of them cut in half the exact same way he was cut in half, just right at the waist, sliced in half. All of
Yeah.
them, double-ended lightsaber,
Yeah.
all of them.
Everywhere. All of them. It's just a bloodbath.
It's
Uh,
yeah. There needs to
yes.
be an absolute catastrophe before him, so that
Yes.
he's like, "We're leaving right now."
Yes. And so it kind of cuts back to like it will show like Anakin and Qui-Gon and
What if Qui
everyone.
Gon? What if Qui Gon dies here?
That's what I was thinking. Like he might die a little bit earlier. He still dies in this one. But Qui-Gon and Anakin and Obi-Wan, like they're all like talking whatever, and then Anakin and Obi-Wan like bond a little bit because like Obi-Wan knows about chips. He's a really good pilot too, but he's not as mechanically inclined. So Anakin's kind of like showing him like what's wrong with that. So they're kind of bonding and whatnot. And Qui-Gon's kind of like doing his own thing. He's like meditating, and he's trying to like reach out to like find out if he can find any help or whatever. But this is that happening at Anakin's place right now, where he's got like the ship has been brought so they can do the repairs. He's like, you guys can just hang out here. And we cut back to the bad guys because you always got to check in on the bad guys. And
Always.
so we can see the pilot we saw earlier, who's Darth Maul, who we still haven't seen yet. I think the reveal of what he looks like with the Duel of Fates is so sick. That scene can stay. It's never going away. It's chills every time. And
I just think about it, and I've just got a semi.
so the bad guys are there. His ship's getting repaired, and where we see that Darth Maul's also in this weird like chamber, and he's also meditating the same way that Qui-Gon is. And
Or a little mind battle.
a little mind battle, and then Darth Maul, he's meditating, and we're kind of cutting back between the two of them, and then we see we don't really see, we just see the back of like Darth Maul's like cloak or whatever, and then we see Qui-Gon's head, and they're kind of like doing like moving the same way, and like kind of like shifting the same way, and like while they're sitting, and we just cut to like the yellow eyes that open on Maul, and then we see Qui-Gon like, oh, ugh. It's like, oh, what was that? And then we go back to, and then Obi-Wan's like, Master, are you okay? He's like, oh yes, I felt a disturbance in the Force there. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
so something's going on. So we're as the audience, we're like, oh, there's a bit of connection. This bad guy that we saw earlier is maybe he's also like a Jedi or something. We don't know yet. But he's a bad guy, obviously. And so everything's good. The repairs are going fine on the ship, and Anakin tells him like the engine is swapped and everything, like everything's good to go, but we need one more part. I just don't have the money to buy it. And the Jedi don't have money, and the Queen doesn't have, like, she has like jewelry or whatever, and she's still like disguised as a refugee. We don't know who she is, and like the whole time she's just been kind of shitty to Anakin because obviously she's pissed about. We know like from conversations earlier just between them that she had to like evacuate. She's a refugee pretty much from her own planet. She's left her people behind, so she's just pissed and she's not happy to be here. And she doesn't really like Anakin. Like she thinks his ship is dingy or whatever. And
It's a tale as old as time.
exactly.
Enemies to lovers. Let's
Exactly,
go.
exactly. I mean,
I've read this book before.
everyone has. We're from starting from scratch. They're not trying to break the mold. It was just
No.
very simple. All the same beats.
Get me in there.
Tale as old as time, song as old as...
Bro, it's a prank. It's a prank. It's a prank.